another reason why dancing helps.
But you're so right. Like anytime I put myself into something where I'm just like totally out of place.
Yeah.
Like for me, that was yoga when I started. Like
Totally, yeah.
Like that was. I mean, it was a while back at this point. It was summer after freshman year, so it's been almost 3 years.
As you started doing yoga about the time that I started lifting. That's interesting. Wow.
No, summer after freshman year of college.
Yeah, I know.
You mean okay?
Sorry.
I thought you meant like in your life. I was like, dude, you wouldn't have even started lifting yet.
No, I meant, sorry, yeah, confusing. Anyway, interesting point.
But I walk in, and I was expecting, just some stretching and whatever, and it totally turned into something about, like, your own spiritual self and recognizing that, and I felt weird. I felt really weird, because I'd watched a good amount of Ellie Holt's videos, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, but, like, I did not expect to do what I did. Like, I went to this forest yoga class. I can't remember if that was my first or, like, third or something.
That's
forest, like plants, like forest. Not, like, forced, like, do this fucking stretch. No, it was... People think that's...
You're snapping in the background. It's like, no, that's the tree falling, not my joints.
I'm really glad that was not in forced yoga. Yeah, but it was forest yoga. And the basis of the class is that you root... So you're basically like a tree in a forest of people. And it was made by this woman in Anna Forest. And the idea is that you root down, and then from there you find your deep root of your soul, and then you work in the body to help release tension in ways that bring that out. And a big part of that is making sounds. So for a majority of the class, you hear the entire class doing things like, we'll be sitting there, you'll do a neck stretch, put your hand on the ground and go,
So basically the shit he was doing at the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah, if we put that in, you'll totally see it, which at this point we kind of have
I would say, it's honestly, it's just, it's my way of getting back for you after you made fun of my form for the first training days. Take it that way. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, you muscled up that hang clean, something I've never seen before in my life. Like,
let's just not focus on that detail, okay? Just let's.
But I mean, I can't lie. Like, you smoked your form today, so it doesn't really matter.
True. Yes. Part of it was I was like, I'm not gonna fuck up on form on camera again. Like that was. I did not like the kind of partial humiliation game. I was like, fuck that. But I was saying, it was interesting. So with yoga, and it's funny, my dad...
Let me just finish that
Sorry, yeah, go for it.
So, I felt fucking weird in that class, but I decided to just lean into that and allow myself to suck and allow myself to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah.
And by the end of that summer, I was, like, completely ingrained in yoga. Like, yoga had basically become a major pillar of my life, because I did it 5 to 6 days a week for effectively just 2 months.
What's so cool about that is it happened in such a short period of time. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Because of so much volume.
Repetition, yeah. I think it's interesting because my dad, he has this phrase, and it's very funny. And to me, the forest yoga contrasts sharply because to me it depends because there's so many different kinds of yoga, right? And so if you're like very, very basic yoga, like my first yoga experience was hot yoga, which I don't even know. It's like hell, but it's actually like it's good. It's very effective. But it's funny because like regular yoga, my dad calls it spirituality light because it kind of gets you on that path and starts getting you kind of thinking along those lines, kind of pushes you down that area a little bit. But at the same time, though, it's very funny because you don't really actually get involved in like traditional basic yoga. You don't really get involved with much of your mind or your soul, to my understanding. So once you do the forest yoga, then it becomes something very different. And the focus shifts away from just stretch. Or like
I can speak to that a little bit.
Go for it. Yeah, please.
I work at Core Power right now, and I'm doing my teacher training at Core Power right now, and a lot of the classes on the schedule are yoga sculpt classes. Mm-hmm. What that means is you hold either like 3 pound, 5 pound, 8 pound, or 10 pound weights in your hands. Usually like 5-8 is the most common combo. Sure. And you do yoga poses, but it's basically like a calisthenics cardio workout thing that you're just doing from yoga poses, and there's very little. There's maybe, I would say, somewhere between 2 and 7 minutes of mindfulness.
See, like even at that point, like
it's garbage.
You don't even I mean
sorry, Core Power, but it's garbage.
I think I think it really goes towards, and this applies for every aspect of fitness. It depends on like what your goal is. I think that if your goal is to make yoga not only just make your body healthier, but also to make your mind healthier and kind of make it all one and really kind of seal it a lot more, I think your sculpting yoga is not going to get you shit. Like, let's just be real here. I mean, it's kind of almost funny to me to a certain degree.
But on the flip side, there are some amazing... So if you've watched some of my yoga document videos that I've been putting out, a fuck ton of those, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm trying to catch up. Oh shit, the volley fin.
The volley fin.
I'm trying to catch up on those.
It's okay. Don't feel like you have to watch all of them at all. But if any of the titles feel like they call to you, click it. In my opinion, that's the way they're meant to serve.
Also, I should just say, even if the title doesn't appeal to you, they're all going to be interesting. You know that much. Even if nothing else, you'll be able to be entertained because it's kind of funny to at some points. You're just like, it's like, holy shit, he's actually doing this on camera. Like, it's funny at sometimes. Watch him and then you'll know what I'm talking about.
But
oh dear.
Where was I going with that?
Different kinds of yoga, sculpting yoga.
Yeah, so there's some amazing teachers at Core Power that I document in these videos. Like, Raj is probably one of my favorites because it's not even that like he cues you and talks about spirituality and everything like that at the beginning or end, but it's that he leaves enough space at the end for you to really be able to go there on your own.
Oh, cool.
And the cues that he makes during the class are all like, and Matt Kaplan does a good job of this too. They're talking for the majority of the class, but a minority of what they say is about how to put your body.
Interesting.
A lot of it is almost therapeutic. Like it's just fucking awesome. So there are really good ways to do it for sure. However, I do agree. Like you talked to me about that. What is it? Spirit evolution scale, like the thing that goes.
The consciousness level that I think talks to like 1,000 or 1,100 or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I don't know what particularly. Well, don't quote me on that.
Yeah. So generally, I feel like it does a really good job of, like the best teachers get much higher on that than just the fitness teachers.
Oh, absolutely. I think, and to me, like, and again, it goes towards the goals. Like, if your goal is to be as high as you possibly can on a scale, to the degree it's a logarithmic scale, and basically at 550, like that level, that's like unconditionally loving of everyone. My understanding is basically only 2 individuals ever reached 1,000, and that's the Buddha and Jesus. And then basically 200 or below is, I don't want to say animalistic, but you're kind of, it's like Middle Ages effectively, you know, where it's there's no understanding of human life or respect for it. It's just kind of, it's unfortunate. So that's kind of where that scale is. And if your goal is to get as high as you can on that scale, you know, like that particular kind of a yoga class will tailor it and it'll help you get there. Whereas some of those sculpt classes, like you're just not accessing that aspect of it. There's no, like that goal is not set on that scale at all. So
what do you think the value is in life and accessing that spiritual side of life? Like, what do you get out of that?
You know, I think, and it's really hard for me to say because, I mean, hell, I'm 19 years old and I'm really just going down this, I'm really just starting the path of kind of spirituality. I'm still trying to find a lot of answers. But I know for certain that, like, we're here for the sake of love because, like, what we are here for is to love everyone else and to just basically be as kind and be as compassionate as we possibly can be to them. And so to me, like, my personal spiritual goal is to get to that 550 or higher. That's what I want to accomplish in my lifetime. And so that's something that I practice every single day in terms of focusing on that and taking the steps towards that. That's the idea. So I think that in terms of kind of how that helps you in life is just, I mean, also, the more generous you are, the happier you are. You know, it's just, I think that's really just a basic fact. I don't think you can really, there have been plenty of studies that, you know, back that up. But yeah, it's kind of that the more that you do and the more that you get involved, the more you help people and the more that you're loving towards them and kind towards them, the happier you are. And so I think that, you know, kind of the goal should be to die happy, I think, you know? I mean, I think that's, you know, to kind of a certain point, there's like, that's, you know, like, I don't know when I want to go out, I want to be happy.
almost like fulfilled.
Like, you know? Content and satisfied, definitely, yeah. So, I mean, that's how I want to go out. So, and I think that one of the ways to get there is by getting towards that 550. And again, don't quote me on it. I'm 19 years old and I'm just starting to kind of scratch the surface on this stuff. So, you know, honestly, it'll be interesting for me to watch this years later.
Like, you can tell in the moment, that's a good point. It'll be really cool to see this like a decade later.
Like 3 years, no, seriously, even like, hell, even probably like, you know, 3 years from now, I feel like, good God, that's where you started. You're like, yeah, right. You thought that, really? You know, who knows?
Well, we will see. But just to speak to that earlier point, like, we are young as fuck.
Yeah.
And we really don't know what we're doing.
No.
But in each moment, you can just tell what feels better and what feels worse. So, like,
totally,
I told you that story a couple weeks ago about how I was walking back from yoga. It was like an evening yoga class, and I walked past this group of 3 homeless people. And,
yes, yeah.
Yeah, and so
spectacular story.
I'll tell the long form just because it's nice to have it documented.
Should I get the little booklet too, so I can show them?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would appreciate that. So, I was walking past these people, and this man, he, like, we caught eyes, like, made quick eye contact, but I was just, like, happy and smiling, so I flashed him a smile, and he just, like, he vocalized, "I love your smile." And so feeling good, I was like, well, thank you, man. Like, I really appreciate that. I love yours too. And then we parted ways. He said, "God bless you," and I said, "God bless you." And then as I was walking away, I realized in my head, I was like, why don't I just let God act through me and be that blessing for that person.
Fuck yes, dude.
Because it just felt fucking right. Like
100%.
So I turned
that's
around,
how it works, yeah.
and it was funny when I walked past him again because he was like, "What are you doing?
I know,
You're going the
what the
wrong way."
fuck? Yeah, no,
and
no.
all I said was, "I'm like, we're good. Like, don't sweat it. We're good." And I just kept walking. I went over to the sandwich shop nearby and got him like this big old like foot-long sandwich with no meat because fuck yeah.
Seriously, the guy was probably like, "You got me a sandwich?" Yes, and then he's like, "No meat on this? Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah,
I didn't
man,
know that. That's
what
funny.
can I say, man? I don't support that factory farming bullshit, but I
Can't argue that.
and I knew that the source of the meat was not to my standard, which is
cheap,
why.
Yeah. So.
Although I mean, it definitely was probably to that guy's standard, so I could have weighed that decision differently. Not saying I made the right call there, but what I am saying is that he got a bunch of fucking veggies and some cheese and a bunch of sauces and some guac and like it was a good fucking sandwich. And what ended up happening was we shared a long conversation about who he was, about just like life in general, just like spewing knowledge and then one of the other guys out of the three, so I was talking to all three of them, and at first they were pretty shy because there's this stigma around the homeless people where they just don't feel like they can interact with you.
Especially in Boulder, because like I mean, people get blown off so much, especially like, and it's just where kids are. I'm not trying to be dissing on anyone, but you don't like. There's not an awareness, and it's not that the kids aren't compassionate, although I'd argue that they aren't really too often. But it's more that they don't have the awareness of it, and they don't know how to bridge that gap, which is very understandable. So sorry to sidetrack you, but
no, that's perfect. And one of the three guys had his own little business going where he made these little booklets that were like little journals, and he was telling me all about it. He was telling me all about just like how much he cares and just wants to be able to help people, and so that's the goal of these little booklets, is that people can just journal about their lives but have some positive vibe with them, and that he's making his own little business by selling out of this briefcase. It was just so perfect. And then the guy who I gave the sandwich to gave half his sandwich to that guy so that I could have one of the little booklets. And then this is the little book. I'll bring it up close so you can see it.
Hopefully you can see that, yeah.
So it's like
it was just so perfectly made for Roger too. Like what does it say something about winning? I can't remember what it says.
Yeah, it says just winning. On the back it has a little design, and then it just has pages in between. It's like a super simple design. Really cool though.
That's just
because I was talking to them about the power list and about, win the day and all of that.
Oh, that's what it was? I didn't know that was how. I thought it was just like they just handed you that one and I was just like...
Well, no, dude, I picked this one out,
cool.
but I had no idea that it even said that.
Really?
It was like tucked in where you could only see the binding of it.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I was like, that's okay, well then from now on this is going to go on the mantle
just
as well.
winning. Hell yeah, I'm cool with that. Let's see. It's covering the just part, yeah. But, yeah, that's a really spectacular story, and I think that's, I think that's what everyone should be... Honestly, I think that's what everyone should strive for, and I certainly, I am as well.
But that's just one moment, you know what I mean? Like, I walk past homeless people and do nothing.
Oh, I mean,
often.
we all, whether you want to call it missing the mark, or whether you want to call it, just kind of everyday life, however you want to label it, yeah, we all do that, and I think that it's cool to kind of take a moment and do that. I did a moment like that when I was a little kid as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's like, went to go get a book at some bookstore. I saved a whole bunch of money for, my allowance and whatnot. And my mom was kind enough to drive me all across town in Pittsburgh, which is fucking raining, because it's Pittsburgh. And so we go to this bookstore, and they actually didn't have it, which was a bummer. I was walking out, I had my little wallet, which was actually given to me by my aunt. It was like this, cheap blue wallet, but it was just cool to have my name on it and whatnot. And, but, yeah, so I was walking past, and there's this homeless woman who was just getting drenched by the rain, just absolutely drenched. And I was like, it's okay. I didn't get the book, but, hey. And then I saw her, and I was like, holy shit, and I think I had $12 in the wallet, I think was what I had. And I went and I handed, I literally took out the 10 and went and handed it to her. That was 6 years old, literally. I think, literally 6 years old, maybe 6.5. But it's just, again, it's one of those moments where it's it really, I think that's something to strive for everyone, I think. That's a moment, again, for me, that's one moment, okay? I have had plenty of times that I see, in Boulder, they also have the fake homeless thing that happens in Boulder, which is such a fucking pain in the ass.
Oh my god, yeah, I heard about that. People will drive a $50,000 car into Boulder.
It's fucking ridiculous.
And then be homeless.
Or she's a 24-year-old guy just has long hair and he's wearing new clothes and he's got his fucking cardboard sign out. Get a fucking job. What do you... Sorry, I'm not gonna get to my soapbox. But I guess actually, I just really, it illustrated my point, which is for everyone of the really for everyone of the really kind moments that we have, there are also ones that we're not as proud of. That whether or not I'm proud of the other moments, it's did I do all that I could for humanity? And the answer there is no. So I think that that's kind of an important point to make. Not sure what's wrong with that, but
I talked about that in one of my videos where I talk about how I'm not perfect. That's the name of the video, and it's just so. one of my good friends had his father pass, like, around the time I broke my collarbone, a month or two before I broke my collarbone. So, like, late August.
That was then. I didn't know it was then.
Mm-hmm. And, so we're, like, our whole friend group is really good friends, and then the dad was also, like, part of the crew. He was kind of like the den father, so to speak. Yeah, like, we would always play poker together. I fucking love the guy. We would always play poker together, and he would just crack hilarious fucking jokes, and he taught us all how to play.
Yeah.
But one of my friends, Ben, always talked about having no bad days, and having, like, shit like that. And then I was kind of feeling that similar vibe.
Yeah.
And, like, the problem with that is that for someone that's having a bad day, when the person they look up to says that they have no bad days,
I know, you're like,
they go, fuck, I can't be that person.
I know, you think it's like you're here at this human level, and then they're like above it somehow, and there's just like in like this gap you can't cross.
And the whole idea is that that's just not true. And so it's really important to be authentic with those experiences where we're really not perfect, but at the same time it's really important to share the experiences where we feel like we did do a good job.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Because then it encourages that sort of behavior and activity.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's, again, there's that balance, of kind of encouraging the right things, but also being mindful of, and kind of also sharing and making it known that, you know, you're not superhuman. Like, we posted the training video today, you know, okay, sweet, I hit a PR. You know how many times I've really majorly fucked up? I think we talked about it in the video today, in this exact talk of when I was, you know, doing stupid shit with the bench after I lost like 5 pounds of water weight, you know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, it's just, for every one of those awesome moments, you're going to have one that you're not as proud of, you know? It's just how it is. Real quick, because I'm thinking we're probably getting kind of long on time.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I think we should probably wrap that up for Mogul Talk number 2.
Wow, dude, that Mogul Talk 2 got deep.
It really did, actually, really did. And actually, we didn't even get to dive into my favorite topic. This will be in Zen Bear Athletics, probably the first, like, conceptual video I'll make. I'll probably post it next week. Is perfect moving towards perfect, which is a concept I really want to talk about because I think it's so important. But
we'll have to table that for number 3 as
well. Number 3, definitely. Sweet. Well, I'm thinking that's Mogul Talk.
Cool. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Have a great rest of your day, guys.